Hello YouTube, this is BalorMage again, and we're coming at you with Poison SRS again. There's a big surprise. Some fantastic news. This build has been buffed twice and is now right back up the top in minion builds for me. Looking real nice. Tempted to start it. Might still go with Holy Relic, don't know, but buffed twice really well, kind of 3 times. This has been probably my longest running build guide. I am very impressed with how it has looked, at least on the path of building, for how much better it got. There is a brand new glove mod that ups our DPS by like a good 25-30%. It's disgusting. There is animate guardians that can no longer die and lose all of their gear, and we get a new little battle buddy this league. Actually insane. So let's just jump into the path of building and have a look. All right, so here we are. This is our entire path of building. It has been redone. We are using the loadouts now. For anyone who has been using my builds in the past, I have not been using loadouts until just this league. So they become very easy to swap your entire gear, and it'll swap your gear, your skills, your passive tree, and the config settings between early end game. So this would be like when you first get to maps, literally when you first get to maps. Because of this, I'm able to even set the gem levels down and get rid of quality on them and like have stuff where it's supposed to be. So this is like the first getting to map stage, and then you can change into end game gear and it changes everything, the configs, the items, the trees, everything. And then we can do with the new glove mod. So here's the real important part though. In the end game poison setup that we had last time, that would still be the case now, we have 16 million DPS. Now, the gear in here, not fantastic. Perfectly reasonable, actually. We actually don't even have implicits on gear or anything like that. We don't have Eldritch and Eda currency. We don't have exceptionally good jewels. We don't have exceptionally good rolls on our belt. This is all like end game gear that will get everything done, but isn't particularly great. Even all of our jewels are pretty average, right? Everything here is just sort of mediocre. This is all easily achievable stuff, the whole head to toe. This will be enough to complete probably all of the content in the game. We also have, though, however, our in-game min-maxed version, which is significantly higher in DPS and tankiness, and is absolutely gross. We should move towards this if you want to keep investing into it, but this is the bit that's important right here. This is the bit that people need to know. There is a brand new glove mod. So both these sets, endgame and endgame new glove mod, are set in the same level of gear. So everything is super obtainable. It is not particularly good. Most of the gear is actually the same, but one thing that changes is there is a modifier here. Minions have 100% of fire damage converted to chaos damage. This is gross for a few reasons. The first reason is we're gaining a lot of base damage because we used to have Unholy Might, which would convert 100% of physical to chaos. SRS convert 100% of physical to fire. So what happens when you extend or like overextend the amount of conversion that you have in a skill is it just squishes them all until it reaches 100. So if you've got 100% as fire and 100% as chaos, then you have 200% total. It shrinks it all to 100. You end up with 50% fire, 50% chaos. That's been what we're running for a while. That's been more than enough. However, that new glove mod not only replaces this ascendancy, it does a better job because it is 100% fire converted to chaos. So now we're getting all the base damage instead of half of it. Really importantly, though, it also frees up our ascendancy point, which there are several options. I've gone with Plaguebringer. I like it. 30% area for all of our melee splash needs. This should also count the explosions from our Animate Guardian's gloves. All of those sort of things we get. We'll always have corpses nearby. We are dropping Desecrate on everything, so even single targets will end up with corpses most of the time. So we are looking at nearby enemies deal 10% reduced damage and nearby allies deal 10% more damage. So there's a good damage buff there. Other options, you don't have to take this one. You absolutely could take Mistress's Sacrifice. You could keep everything the same in the build and just have way more cast speed and attack speed to be able to move around and cast better. Or you could take Mistress of Sacrifice. You could change your offering to Bone Offering, and you could drop Glancing Blows and then be able to keep your block cap and then be significantly more tanky, but you would lose a little bit of DPS to do so. That's up to you. I've gone with Plaguebringer. Now, there is one small problem with dropping Unnatural Strength, which is that it also came with 25% chance to apply Wither. We can use Withering Touch instead of chance to poison early, but that's only good early. It's not something we would want to keep. So in order to get our Wither back, it does mean we're changing back to the old weapon, Severed in Sleep. Severed in Sleep or United in Dream both come with the level 25 Envy. We desperately want that. The big difference is having the United in Dream meant it came with 60% chance to poison on the weapon, which made it practically free to poison cap. Very, very easy. And we were getting our Wither chance from our Ascendancy. Now, with the glove mod giving us the conversion that's way better than the Ascendancy, now we can save that Ascendancy point, put it somewhere else where we get much more damage. The downside of that is we now need more poison chance jewels. We need them everywhere. Every jewel is going to have poison chance on it. We still need to cap our poison chance, but the Severed in Sleep gives us minions have 60% chance to inflict withered on hit. To be honest, the percent chance doesn't really matter because 25% was already enough to cap. 60% will already be enough to cap. It's not going to make any difference. So the main reason we have these two setups in here now is because I personally have absolutely no idea how rare this glove mod will be or if it even stays. So instead of just guaranteeing that this is the way to do it now, we have kept both setups so that you know how to do it with the glove mod and without the glove mod. If you have the option, if the gloves are obtainable, this is the same level of gear, we want to use the gloves. We can see here in the non-glove version, same level of gear, 16.2 million. And then with the glove mod version, 19.1 million. That is a very large increase in damage for having essentially the same set of gear. What I did not have time to do was change the min-max setup over. So importantly, the min-max setup is the same as it has always been. It gets all of the suppression added in. It gets extra tanky. It does a buttload of damage. However, it is still set up the old way without the glove mod. You could easily make those changes on your own. All it is get the glove mod on your gloves, drop this Ascendancy, change it to this one or that one if that's what you want to do, and then fill out your poison chance and swap weapons from United in Dream to Severed in Sleep. That's it. Those are the only differences. Everything else stays exactly the same. So, really excited for people to play this again. Cannot believe that not only did we not receive a nerf for like the 5th league in a row, which I guess at this point makes it 2.5 years, but we got buffed significantly. The last thing I will mention is our little battle buddy will up all these numbers significantly. However, that is going to be an entirely separate video. I am making the next video you will probably see will be a Merc master list path of building I've been working on. I'm going to work on a few different sets to have you have some examples of how I can have a supporting minion as my mercenary. But I'm also putting everything in here that I think might be remotely useful as a support for all general builds to use. The idea of this is that instead of trying to figure out every piece of gear that you could possibly use that might be useful, you'll be able to open this path of building and have a look at the lists that are already there for you of what are all of the good things and find one that is good for your build. That'll be a separate video. That's coming later. For now, we've got the new Poison SRS build. It does significantly more damage than before. We're a little bit tankier than before. Everything about it should be great. All right, that is all I have, and I will see everybody next time. Bye-bye.